We fall for flashy and pretty in sports. And once again last night, Kevin Durant got injured. Of course he did. Kevin Durant in the last 700 days has played 24 games, and in 4 of those he left. He got hurt. He's not even old. He's 32. He broke his foot at 26 at Oklahoma City. Tore his Achilles in his late 20s. Tore it again in like 30 years old. He's just not dependable physically. He's a gifted player, but I don't even know, to be honest with you, I don't even know how we're going to define him in the end. Just super talented, but never healthy. And he's not old. But Brooklyn is becoming what they should become, what they are. Kevin Durant's not healthy. Kyrie plays when he wants to. James Harden is unbelievable in the regular season. They are the classic pretty team. Pretty can win when it also is tough. They're not tough. They don't play defense. They don't man you up. They want to win three-point shooting contests. I mean, Kyrie Irving has made the playoffs 6 times. Twice, he hasn't even played in the playoffs because he's hurt. Another time, he left in the middle of it because he was hurt. 50% rate of getting through the playoffs. And by the way, if you take LeBron out of Kyrie's career and you just go Duke, Cleveland, pre-LeBron, Boston, and Brooklyn, he's always hurt or doesn't feel like playing. Well, of course that's what they become. That's what he is. And so when I look at all this stuff, we have this Steven Strasburg in baseball. Brilliant, can't stay healthy. Garoppolo, really talented, can't stay healthy. Of course Kevin Durant's hurt. He's always hurt. This is who he is. Genetically, some guys, I mean, LeBron, until the last year or two, was a freak. They just never get hurt. I mean, Tom Brady, kind of a freak. Michael Jordan, 82 games, played hard, smoked cigars, drank wine, would literally, in the offseason, play hard, golf, 36 hole, 1 injury. So, I mean, Brooklyn is exactly what doesn't win championships. Flaky, injury-prone, pretty, not tough. They're going to win a lot of games in the regular season. It's a lot like the Phoenix Suns when Steve Nash played for them. God, they were pretty. But in the end, they couldn't stop anybody down low. It's exactly what Brooklyn is. Brooklyn has had their hands full with Andre Drummond. He has owned them all year. If they can't stop Andre Drummond, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, LeBron, I feel bad for Kevin Durant because he is a unbelievable all-time talent. But of course he's hurt. Of course he's on the mend. That's who he is. We fall for it every time. All right, so Mike Lombardi is a pretty smart guy. He used to work here, former NFL guy with Bill Belichick. He says, listening to media people, they're like weathermen. It changes every hour. He says the San Francisco 49ers, they are taking either Mac Jones or Trey Lance. They will not take Justin Fields out of Ohio State. All right, I'm not here to argue about that. I would, but I'm not here to argue. So if this is true, and Peter King is saying the same thing, they're not going to take Justin Fields. It's going to be Mac Jones. If not, it's Trey Lance. So if the Jags, Jets, and Niners are taking Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones, that leaves what I believe are 2 incredible prospects, Justin Fields and Trey Lance. These kids are big, strong, athletic, arms, win their games, absurdly productive, don't throw interceptions. And you look at the draft, 4 through about 14. Nobody needs a quarterback except Denver. So my guess is we're going to have a major trade with the Bears moving up, Washington moving up, New England moving up. But it's really interesting. Atlanta is in a power position at number 4. So look at that board right now, 4. I think it's idiotic for Atlanta to take a quarterback. Number 1, Matt Ryan is their life preserver. He's the only thing they have. He's Derek Carr and the Raiders. He's all they have. Passing yards, completion attempts. He leads the NFL last 4 years. He's not the issue. And he's got a good young group of offensive linemen and wide receivers. Also, he's getting a new offensive coach, so his numbers will go up. Also, at number 4, you can get Kyle Pitts, the single best player in the draft outside of Trevor Lawrence. So his numbers will go up. I think it's idiotic to draft a quarterback. But there are arguments to be made. Here's the argument for Atlanta. It's a quality versus quantity argument. Somebody is going to make an offer to Atlanta at 4. I'm sure they already have. So San Francisco, by moving up to 3, headed until Jimmy Johnson. That's not a myth. I was reading on Twitter one day, somebody said, we give Jimmy Johnson way too much credit. He didn't invent the trade. Yeah, kind of. He invented the blockbuster trade. Nobody in the NFL. Jimmy Johnson made, in that one big Herschel Walker deal, made more trades than the New York Giants had in the history of their franchise. People didn't trade. Now everybody's trading all the time. But guys, people give away their first-round draft picks like good people. Niners, Rams, Seahawks, the NFC West, Arizona. The NFC West just gives away their first-round picks because in the NFC West, it's so good, Joel. You got to win now.
Yeah, you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, draft picks don't do you any good. You got to get stars. They're expensive. And what you need is second, third, fourth, fifth round guys to fill in the gaps. So Jimmy Johnson was the first guy that went out there and said, we're going to give you Herschel. We want 8 picks. And it's the beginning of a dynasty. So Jimmy gets credit for that. He literally changed. And this was in a time when the NFL was run 3 yards in a cloud of dust, hyper conservative, like super conservative. And Jimmy came out from college, replaced a legend, Tom Landry, is like, I'm going to give away our best player. It was unheard of.
Yeah, you should give him credit for doing it. He made it a thing.
Yeah, and now everybody does it, but you just forget 30 years ago, the NFL it's always been kind of a corporate league more than like the NBA or international soccer. It was absurdly corporate, and here comes this. He was kind of like Mark Cuban as a coach. I'm just going to do something totally different, and I don't care what you think. And it formed one of the most riveting dynasties of our time, the Dallas Cowboys. He comes up in 15 minutes. All right, let's start with this. Everybody